What up, dude?
What's good? I'm just gotta wait for like majority of the league to hop on.
All right. All right.
Let me ring everybody.
You're okay with that?
Yeah. Wagwan popcorn. What's good?
You.
You know I'm about to win this shit for real.
All right.
Yo, you got my Zelle, right?
Me?
Huh?
I said you got my Zelle, right? Just send it right now.
Oh.
Nah. I ain't losing shit.
I just gotta wait for majority of the people to come online.
Right.
And who is it? Zay, you're gonna be up. No, is it Zay? Yeah, Zay, you're up first. So I'm just letting you know. So you're
I'm up first?
Yes. I did it in the order of the way niggas were drafted from the auto draft. So, not the actual draft order, but the auto draft.
Okay.
Jamar, Damon. Oh wait, Josh. Is Josh here? I see his name, but like.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that's 1, 2, 3.
All right. Before we get started, I want to let everybody know that this is the last time you can back out of the appeal. If you back out now, your suspension will only be 1 game. However, if you go to the trial and you're found guilty, your suspension will be 2 games. Yep. And that's it. Yeah.
So is this everyone?
Yeah. Everybody.
No. I mean, like,
He's talking about for being here. Let me text the chat real quick.
Yo, so I'm only gonna do it for Judkins, not Travis Hunter.
Okay. So you're taking a 1-game suspension for Travis Hunter.
For Hunter.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2. All right, we got 4. And this call is being recorded for the people who aren't here, so that they can listen in when they get the chance. Just so y'all know. All right, I'm gonna go now since we got like at least 3 other people here too. It's y'all. Oh, and Lopez. Okay. So excuse me. And also, I'm gonna get the rules posted. I'm trying to get it by the end of tonight. But back to what I was saying. With Zay is in violation of the rules for
accused.
Yes, is in violation of rules for auto picking. And if you look in the chat where I sent last night, it shows that his pick was auto picked. The rules state it is expected that each owner be present during the draft, and a requirement to draft every pick of your team. Any pick of yours that is auto drafted will be suspended for 1 week, and then the commissioner will determine which players is suspended. But it's really those first 2 statements of not having any picks auto drafted. 1 second. Un momento. The rules, as I said, the rules clearly stated that it's if people are interpreting it any other way, I don't know why they would be doing so, because it's clearly stated that you have to be present and drafted. It's really black and white. There's not much else to say about it, and I don't know how the defendant would say otherwise.
Objection, Your Honor. That's an opinion.
Okay. Even if it was just 1 pick, or your app might have been malfunctioning, the rules don't state that you get leeway for that. It requires you to do that no matter who or what had happened. You can't auto draft. That was the rules. Even if you were there, it still says you can't auto draft any pick. If you had an emergency, fell asleep, or whatever else, the rules don't compensate for that. The rules is clear and cut on who can and can't, or who can't be auto drafted. So that's all I have to say regarding to that matter, and I'll pass it over to Isaiah.
All right, bet. I understand what the rules states. Obviously, it states, like you just said, that auto drafting is not acceptable. I don't understand as far as how the app can pick a pick that's not even in your queue. As someone, I had a whole draft queue set up of players, and Joe Burrow was not even on my thing. And the app picked someone randomly for me. And as soon as it happened, I even said that. So I'm just confused. I was present. I was not away from my shit at all. I'm sitting here watching it, and it picked Joe Burrow for me random as hell. It wasn't even in my queue. Nothing. That shit just set auto draft random as hell. I think, at least on my account, this whole swap to sweeper was not, or sleeper, whatever it's called, was not a smooth transition. There's a lot of things that I think is still buggy, or we're trying to figure out on how to do, or at least I'm trying to figure out on how to do. Yeah, to be honest, I mean, I just think that like honestly, like I don't need Joe Burrow anyway, but it's just the fact of like I didn't even want to pick that motherfucker. Like he wasn't even on my list. It more so screwed me over for my other players, not so much Joe Burrow. But whatever, it happens. But I'm just saying, like I think that if the league was to review how things are going on, or at least what makes sense here, it's not like I just missed the pick. That shit straight bugged. He was not in my queue or anything like that. Even if I wasn't there and he was in my queue, or if I wasn't there, and it should pick the next person in your queue. It shouldn't just auto draft someone random like it did for me. So whatever. But all right.
I'm gonna give my closing argument. Before I do say that though, I just want to. I'm gonna remind it. Well, this is new information to everybody. Is one of the committee members present? Who's going to be? That can speak up now.
Yeah, I'm here.
For those who are voting, you can send your text to Jamar Rudolph, not Gregory. You have to give a written statement as to why you're voting guilty or not guilty.
May I ask who's on this committee?
I can't give out that information actually. If the committee wants to do that, they are doing that. The rules will be posted of what the committee does, but I can't give out that information. But they can if they want to on who they are.
So you can't tell us who else is on the committee of people who are going to vote guilty or not guilty, or
no, they're not voting guilty or not guilty. They're just reviewing every vote. Okay. And so it's not going to me. It's not going to Jamar Gregory. It's going to a different committee, and they have their own rules. So, but I can't give out the information of who they are, unless they want to. But for my closing statement, I'll say that what the argument that's being presented to us is that it was a malfunction in the app. Honestly, I haven't had any. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I haven't had any while using Sleeper. Yes, the app is new, but I've never had any issues with the app malfunctioning. And anybody could use an excuse that the app was malfunctioning for their app too, and say that. But we don't. How does somebody prove that their app was malfunctioning? Like, do you have definitive proof that happened? If not, then how can someone believe that? It's just he say, she say, and so it's not I'm not charging you off of what he said, she said. I'm only charging you off of what the app said and what's actual definitive proof. And I rest my case.
Well, the app also, just to add, it doesn't show you, like, if you're in the chat, like ESPN, for example, it'll show if you leave the draft room or you come back in. I mean, for example, with me, I didn't.
Markel, I'm gonna pause you because you're gonna get your chance to argue. But save that for yourself. But you're gonna get your chance. You can go. Zay, you can finish what you were saying if you had anything else.
Pretty much. I think I was kind of said everything already. Like, I feel like the app did malfunction. I was present during the draft. I wasn't away from my app at all. It just randomly picked Joe Burrow. He wasn't in my queue. And generally, I don't think that should fall on me in this situation. I do understand what the rule is there for people to just straight up to be present for the draft and not auto draft. But at the same time, if you set up a queue of players that should be picked, It even went outside of my queue of players that I had picked or I had set out to pick. So I don't think that is a normal function. I think that should display the fact that was a abnormal function. An auto draft would imply that, I wasn't in the room or I wasn't present to pick at all and I didn't have a queue set up. If there's a queue set up, it shouldn't be an auto draft. It should be selected from your queue. And like I said, Joe Burrow was not even in my queue, which would represent that that there was an issue or a bug with the Sleeper app. Therefore, I should not be charged with any type of punishment. I rest my case.
All right. Next is, who was it? Was it Markel or was it hold on. One second, I forgot who was going. Give me a second. Actually, I'm gonna take this time for everybody. Besides, as you can't, so me and Isaiah aren't voting on this outcome. Everybody else can vote on the outcome, and I'm not gonna be voting on any outcomes because I'm accusing, and an accusee can't vote either. The league will be deciding. And let me figure out who's next while you guys do that. So just give it a few minutes, and I'll be back. I'm not leaving a call. I'm just not talking.
So while we are waiting, I do have something else I do want to kind of just have a conversation with while there's people in the call. And if I'm not a perfect recollection of the rules, but is there a rule about selling your team for nothing? If anybody can speak on that.
Selling your team, like
not
for money?
Selling, no, like giving away your best players for nothing. Is that a rule, or can we charge someone with that? Is that a thing?
So you're talking about tanking?
Tanking, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Yes.
Yeah. So give me by the end of tonight, I'll have the rules posted again, updating. Like I've been updating a lot of shit. Jamar has reviewed it also with me. He's been giving me feedback on it, and I'll share it with the group chat. It's not gonna be a finalized version of it because I will be getting feedback from you guys. But once that's done,
it's the Kai in the room with you. I think he's echoing or you're echoing.
I'm in my own room by myself. I have COVID, so I'm not in anybody's room. But yeah, so I'll have that out by tonight, so that you guys can review it, the new updates.
Copy.
And Markel, you'll be next for Quinshawn Judkins, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so are we voting on the punishment, or if there should be punishment for these trials, or is this going to like?
So what you're voting on right now is whether if you believe that Isaiah is guilty or not guilty of auto drafting.
All right.
Yeah. And the number you guys are sending it to is, Jamar, you can say your number or just put it in the chat so they know. I don't know if everybody has your number saved.
Or I'm gonna put it in the chat.
It's not you, Jamar Gregory. I'm talking about Jamar.
Rudolph.
Okay.
Wait, Smoke, you gonna put it in the chat?
Yeah, if you're ready, you can do it.
I'll do it.
Me copy and pasting.
What's the review time on this going to be for people to be able to watch the video and stuff?
I had to post it first, but I'll reach out to everybody to make sure they have it in, have their votes in, so we can have it done before Thursday night.
Before Thursday night, copy that. Okay. Is Sir Doc in here right now?
I think he left.
Okay.
Oh, he just joined. All right.
That's Sakai? Sir Doc is Sakai?
Yes. I'm going to start the next trial, though, now, with Markel. My my argument for Markel is that he was also auto drafted with Quinshon Judkins. As you can see, if you look in the chat too, you can see his picture of the pick that says he was auto drafted. As I was saying before, the rules don't state any leeway for auto drafting a player. It's clear and cut, black and white, on that any player can't be auto drafted, and there's no exception in a rule where it's stated that somebody can be auto drafted. And as you were saying before too, when during Isaiah's statement, you were saying that it doesn't show the app, or I don't know, the app or website doesn't show when somebody left or joined that app. It actually does. It's like a green little bubble. When I draft from my laptop, it shows when who's present and who's not present in the draft room at the time. It doesn't say anything in the chat, I believe, but I know it does show a green bubble on who is there and who isn't there. But back to with the auto draft, like I said, it's simple and plain. I don't have anything else to say about whether he was auto drafted or not.
I mean, I get it. I mean, that's why, like, I'm just taking it for Travis Hunter. Like, I was just between two players. I was there. Mm-hmm. It actually just drafted Travis Hunter, and I was in between him, so, I'm cool with that. He's going to be gone for 1 week, but it's, it is what it is. Judkins, similar situation. Not really, because I was actually trying to, queue the player. I thought I added the player to the queue. I only added one player to the queue. I'm not going to disclose the name of the player that I added because I'm still trying to trade for him at this point. So I added the player to the queue. I basically assumed that, I had to use the restroom. I wasn't bringing my laptop in there. I wasn't bringing my phone into the bathroom. I left it. I added him to the queue. And then it just got me Judkins, which, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to complain and be like, it drafted him. But, I'm basically already being punished for him. It drafted me a player that's not even on a team yet. So I'm already getting punished for, the guy's hasn't signed his roster. He hasn't signed his contract. It's basically like I'm already being punished for, God knows how long, maybe 1 week, maybe 4. If he's not going to be on the team practicing, signing his contract. But then on top of that, I have to potentially an extra week or an extra 2 weeks. I feel like it's just like, it is what it is. Like, it just kind of like, it's not fair that I'm basically going to get double. Like, he should be able to serve his suspension while he is, he's still on the team. He just can't practice. He can't play. So, I mean, they have rights to his contract. I just feel like he should be able to serve his suspension while he's waiting to, sign on the team. If, let's say, for example, if it was Amari Cooper or something like that, who wasn't on a team, he would probably be suspended, and you just do the suspension, when it was that time. It's just kind of like, is this guy really going to be suspended like 8 weeks? I already basically lost a pick as is. So if he does come back, like, he should just serve his suspension week 1 through, on week 1.
Okay. My closing argument is, I understand that Quinshon, he's not signed technically yet to the roster, so he could be sitting out. Like, I see what you're saying. Like I said, but as the rules, the rules never took that into consideration about anything about a player, but it's just the fact that he was still auto drafted, even though Quinshon is still having all those problems, off field issues, not being signed. That's all that is true. It just has nothing to do with the fact that he was still auto drafted. And I'm just going by the rules. I'm not intentionally going my way to like hurt somebody's team. I gotta apply the rules to everybody. And so that's my closest
and I hear that. But there's also no rule that specifically says that a player, if he's not signed to a team, can't serve a suspension. Like, he's just on my team. He's serving suspension whether he's on a team or not. So, I mean, at the same point, there's no rule that says, like, hey, this guy isn't on a team, so the suspension has to be delayed. There's no exact rule that says that anyway. So, like, just give him the suspension for, the week. And then I'm already paying for it weeks down the line regardless. So it is what it is. But I feel like you should just give it to him week 1, and then trust me, I'm already gonna be paying for it week 2, week 3, week 4. So I mean,
okay. Before anyone votes on it, just give me 1 minute. Markel, can you hear me? Hello?
yeah, what's up?
Oh, okay. So I heard you saying about your player with Quinshon Judkins, like he's not signed yet, so like you have no timeline on him of him being available to play, so you don't really know how long it's gonna be. So it's, like you're saying, like the suspension is getting like added on for like another week because he's still not signed. So he was like, even though he was still auto drafted, so in the rules there's a rule for like suspension dodging on and stuff where sometimes a suspension can be moved on to another player. So what I'm offering is you still get a 1-game suspension for another player on your squad. So I was just going to do a player either drafted 1 round before or 1 round after. So I determine if you want to serve a 1-game suspension for Rome Odunze for week 1, or do you would want to decline that and still just find out if you're guilty or not guilty for Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah, I'll decline that. Just because, I'll decline that.
So you'll take so you want to proceed through with Quinshon Judkins?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So everybody, y'all can send in your votes for Markel, except Markel, you're not sending your vote for this one. And then we'll just give it a few minutes for everybody to type in their answers, and then we'll move on to Lopez.
Or just let me know. Also, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Pez. We'll start up soon.
Right.
Just send.
No, yeah, because I'm at the gym, so I know the fucking Wi-Fi here is bad.
Okay. Pez, you there? Alejandro?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, we're gonna start up your trial.
All right.
So as with Lopez too, he auto drafted the Broncos defense. As you can see in the group chat, also the picture that was sent of his pick that was auto drafted. Same statements I've been saying before, is in clear and cut, black and white on what the rule says, and any interpretation of what someone might think it is, it doesn't say that in the rules. It just says you have to be there and not or but and draft every pick. No pick can be auto drafted. And so whether it be app malfunction, connection issues, or whatever else, it's just the rules just don't state for that at the time. Like the rules that are active right now don't say anything about that. And if that did happen in their rules, like you have to have proof of that. But the rules don't state anything about having proof of malfunctioning or anything. The rules only state that you got to be there for the draft and you can't auto draft any picks. Go ahead, Lopez.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just doing it because the Broncos defense was like an actual pick that I was going to draft. I put them. That was the only thing I put in the queue, and I was there. I just didn't have enough time. I was just scrolling through receivers and running backs to see if there was a better pick, but that's just what I had lined up. And I have the proof of it because I drafted the Broncos defense in every other one of the leagues that I'm in, and I could send that proof too around the same time or same round. And I also have my mock draft board where I took that defense pretty much the same round as well. I just didn't have enough time, and I wasn't going to force a pick and pick somebody I didn't want or didn't know. But it was all planned out.
All right, I'll give my closing statement. And Pez, like if you want to send that as like proof of what you believe, you can send it to the chat if it helps. If you think it helps your case. But yeah, I was saying like the rules at the current time just don't say anything about that, about, like I said, malfunctioning or maybe taking too long. Like, you might have forgot, did the last second you were about to draft them. Even didn't say anything about having proof. But like, if the league determines that he's not guilty, then it is what it is. I'm only saying that he was determined guilty. Well, now he's determined guilty. He's being accused of being guilty because the pick was
guilty of not being there.
No, you're not guilty of not being there. You're guilty of auto.
That's half the rule.
No, it says and. You and, not or, but and. If
That's it was half the rule.
So, okay, when something's saying and, it's saying it has to be included also. So he might have, if doing 50% of the rule isn't doing 100% of the rule. So he still auto-picked like it says in the picture, and that's all I had to say about that.
So then so then for the league, then we got to take away, like, for next year's draft, we got to take cues, because you're necessarily taking away a key aspect of the draft process, is putting things in a queue and putting things on a favorite list to be able to utilize in case you can't find something that you need or you're looking for.
Is that all you have to say for the rest?
Yep.
I'm done with my statement, but you have the last word, so I just want to make sure you were done. All right, that is going to be the end of the call. Everybody, you guys can send in your votes for every matter to Jamar Rudolph, and just make sure you're clarifying as on which one you're voting for too. And that's all I gotta say. And they'll announce the suspension if there are suspensions. They'll announce the verdicts, I'll say, whenever they get their shit together and done.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, was there any clarification on what accounts for tanking and what doesn't?
So what the rule says right now is like what's active, but it's been discussed on what you are saying. Like, it's me and Jamar have been discussing that. Like I said, the full rules will be out tonight, and if any questions about the rules, like I said, we're still taking feedback and before we finalize it on Thursday. So, like,
all right, I have some feedback. Though, if you can accept that.
Yeah. I'm gonna end this call, but if you got feedback, just call me individually.
Okay.
I got something to say while we got the whole group, because that's the rules in retrospect. So we're talking about a trade that passed that majority of the league was not interested in, and I know that there's precedent for that going the way it did in previous years, but we just sat through a trial where the justification for people facing punishment was that the rules explicitly stated or did not state something. And I'm just saying that that's not necessarily consistent. And the idea, I was reading the rules of commissioner power. Wouldn't that in particular, forget collusion or forget tanking, I think that would be something that would call for the invoking of commissioner power. But that is a conflict of interest. So maybe Jamar Gregory implement commissioner power to have a vote, whatever the case may be. But clearly the league is not too happy about the way that played out. And if there's no rules for this season set in stone, all we have is last year. And even though I obviously trust you and believe you wrote the rules and whatever, but in getting those rules and then applying them in retrospect is not necessarily, righteous,
So I hear what you're saying, Justin. And what, like I said, what you've been saying, I've been listening. Like, I've talked to Jamar about it, because like that's who I go to when if he needs to help me clarify or understand something. Because like last night, I wasn't really understanding everything you were saying, but he helped me clarify it. But what you've been saying, and we actually did address that in a rule. So we did change some of the rules, like for like your issue with the veto. We're changing that on how it's going to be done. And the same shit with like commissioner power, tanking, collusion, all that shit. Like, it's being addressed. Like I said, it's not a quick process. Like I've been working on the rules for a minute. But like I said, when I make the rules, I'm trying to get out loopholes, something that could be misinterpreted. And it's not an easy process, and so that's why I go to Jamar for advice on it. But what you're saying, I hear you and I'm listening. I'm not just like throwing it out. But when I get those rules out again, like if like say you're more than welcome to give feedback again. And so if we need to change something about what is already there, I'm more than welcome to.
Word. I hear you, and I'm not trying to be an asshole or nothing. I'm just trying to, be as clear as possible because the same thing. Loopholes isn't the way it works, Like,
and there's money on the line here too. Is also the thing.
Big money.
Like, I think obviously I haven't seen whatever rules that you plan on implementing, but until I do see them, I just want you to know I plan on taking whoever Sir Doc is to trial. Because 2 years in a row, trying to you're setting yourself up for last place 2 years in a row. I don't nah, bro. It's money on the line. I'm not going for that.
Okay. Like I said, if anyone else has anything to say, you can call me individually. Cause I'm gonna keep working on our rules and then have that posted by tonight. And then anybody who still hasn't voted, gotta do that. And also, I gotta get this video posted for the ones who haven't seen it yet.
Word.
All right, you guys.
Yeah, everyone's seen your votes in.
All right.